Hello again, friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to try and do something a little bit different from my other videos. Namely, we will take a look at a list that will present the most owned stocks of 200,000 Finnish customers of popular investing service Nordnet here in Finland, and what they own in their special stock savings accounts in Finnish osakesäästötili. Stock savings accounts where you only pay taxes when you withdraw money from them. Launched in Finland in the beginning of 2020. So 200,000 portfolios of these accounts in a nation of 5.5 million Finnish people. That's a pretty good sample size to study, and that's what we are going to study now. And I claim this represents pretty well of what most Finnish people own in their stock portfolios. These lists I'm going to show you next are compiled by the number of individuals owning the stock. So how many people have this stock in their portfolio? So we don't actually know where most of Finnish people's money is at, but we can get some sort of idea from this list for sure. We will next take a look at most owned stocks of 6 markets, namely Finland, United States of America, Canada, Sweden, Norway, Denmark and Germany. So the Nordics plus Germany plus North America. Quite a big geographical area to cover here. Will be interesting for sure. I obviously don't know when have Finnish people bought into these companies we are going to talk about next. But as we have seen from year to date stock market crashing, I have a bad feeling that most of them are really bought at the heights and have not been investors of companies for many years, like from the beginning of some of them launched or something like that. So pretty scary stuff maybe. I'm mostly referring here to the high growth tech names we're gonna take a look at. As you probably already guessed, those are the ones crashing the most this year. Well, you know how the crazy stonks game work, do you? You do. Also one important thing to note here that might skew the results a bit. I honestly don't know how much actually this will skew the results, but this is because of the tax system in stock savings account in Finland. To put the big thing really shortly, due taxes, it would make more sense to not have dividend paying foreign stocks in your stock savings account, the account we got the data from, because you will need to pay more taxes than having these kind of dividend paying foreign stocks in the other form of account. So that might skew a little bit results, so that in the data you're going to see next, there might be, overweight in stocks that don't pay dividend. That is possible. How much does this skew the results? I have no idea, but this is something important to keep in mind when we move forward here now. Before we start, it is important for you to know that I have deep dived and made discounted cash flow valuations on only few of the companies we are going to talk about next. So mostly I'm just going to share my on top of head impressions and thoughts on how these look really superficially to me, these stocks. And naturally I cannot tell you if something is a good investment or a bad investment if I have not studied it, researched it thoroughly myself first. So this will not be as analytical as my earlier videos, let's say so. This is more of entertainment, more of fun, but we are going to talk about serious things here, so keep watching. And I think with that we are ready to start, so let's go. So here we are at Nordnet.fi, and this is the article everybody can take a look at this list, but let's go. First, we're going to take a look at the Finnish companies. Number 1 most owned is Sampo. That is an insurance company here in Finland. Sampo, through its subsidiaries, provides life and non-life insurance products and services in Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and the Baltic countries, so outside Finland too. What has the stock been doing lately? Pretty flat, pretty stable after the corona dip, as you can see here. Nothing actually for me to say about it, because I don't cover myself banks and insurance businesses. I don't have a good understanding of those. They are outside my competence. So Really cannot comment anything on banks and insurance, just a traditional Finnish company, number one there, so not a surprise, most owned Finnish stock in Finnish portfolios. Second up, we have Fortum, and we can take a quick look at Fortum too right here. Stock has been actually really volatile recently. You see the Corona dip, then we went back up, and then terrible things started happening in Ukraine. And as Fortum is an owner of Uniper in Germany, and Uniper has in their portfolio gas from Russia to heat up German houses in Germany mainly, you obviously can see what happened with the stock since we went from 25s to somewhere we are today, 12.4. Today they announced that German government is buying 30% out of Uniper, and Uniper will have a bailout. So Fortum, actually I owned previously Fortum a long time ago. Stable old Finnish company, energy company operating in Nordic countries, Russia, well not anymore in Russia, Poland, even in India and other parts of Baltic Rim area and internationally. So big company we're talking about, but unfortunately the second most owned company in Finnish portfolios we are discussing here, and as you can see the recent times have been terrible for Finnish owners due to the Russia's unlawful war in Ukraine and what ripple effects that had on Fortum's ownership of Uniper. Very big topic in Finnish news at the moment. Let's see what the future holds for Fortum, but recent history is really bad because of these things. Moving on, third we have Nordea. Nordea is a bank company here in Finland, Nordic region, as we can see here. Quick look, the stock has been relatively stable, as we can see from here. Really stable. Nordea operates in the Nordics and internationally also. Once again, this is banking, and banking is not something I am comfortable with, so I don't have much to say about Nordea here, other than not surprising that Finnish people are owning one of the biggest banks operating in Finland. Then we move on to the fourth place, and this is Finnair, national flight company of Finland, Finnair, and what we can say about Finnair is that when we look at the, okay, this is the 5-year chart of the stock, as you can see, absolutely terrible if you're a long-term owner of Finnair. We all know why was this, well, obviously, this all started when Corona happened. Let's take 3 years, terrible, 1 year, just a volatile game going down all the time, company in huge trouble. Nobody owning Finnair has probably made any profits here. And as you can see, it sits in the fourth place of all Finnish companies in Finnish people's portfolios. So this is really sad. If you're a long-term owner of Finnair, you already saw how the course has been going in 5 years right here. Really bad. 3 years, really bad. 1 year, everything is bad with Finnair. In trouble, as many airlines, and unfortunately when we move down to other countries, this will not be the only airline company we are going to see. So really many people have Finnair in their portfolios. Terrible investment company in terrible trouble. Russia obviously doesn't allow Finnair to fly through Russian airspace to Asia, which actually Helsinki, the capital of Finland, is pretty good bridge station to fly from Europe to Asia. So that was kind of Finnair's competitive advantage in the past. That competitive advantage is gone because of Russia, our terrible neighbor there in the east. We all know the story with that one, but Finnair is in real trouble as a company, and it is quite sad and surprising to me to see that this many people own Finnair. And yeah, even if you tried to gamble with it recently, probably hasn't gone down too well. So airlines, Finnish airline, Finnair, total bet, total gambling, not an investment, I would say. But we'll return to other airlines soon. Then we have fifth, we have KONE. KONE, again, one of those stable, well, actually quite a bit up after Corona here, as we can see, and then down again to Corona bottoms. Actually, I was going to say stable company, but not that much, pretty volatile. KONE engages in elevator and escalator business worldwide, very traditional, very old Finnish company. Haven't done deep dive into it, so not much I can say about KONE other than not surprising to see here on the list. One of those old stable Finnish companies, nothing surprising to see it on the list here. 6 up, we have Nokia. Well, everybody, whether you were from Finland or wherever in the world, you know what Nokia is. You know that was the king of mobile phones before Apple in the world, but that is history, that is gone now for Nokia, and not anymore. Or is Nokia the leader in mobile phones? But they are now concentrating on network and technology businesses worldwide. So communications company they still are, and they are recreating themselves all the time. As we can see, quite stable. Well, relatively stable, let's say, during the last 5 years. Nothing special there. Nothing special with Nokia. We all know the history of Nokia. The company has been in the process of reinventing itself and is still a relevant company operating in the world. Let's move to the 7th place. We have Neste. Neste is biofuels, and let me show you quickly here. Renewable products and oil products in Finland and other Nordic countries, Baltic Rim and other European countries, North and South America and internationally. So global oil products and renewables player, traditional Finnish company, relatively stable after, and actually has done pretty well after Corona dip. I think dipped down to 22 euros. We are now where we are 45. So has been a great investment, obviously, in the energy industry. For Finnish people who didn't invest in Fortum and but invested in Neste, Neste seems to be the better case here. Definitely their products still needed, and not surprising to see the company here. Here they weren't suffering as bad as Fortum with what happened with Russia. So not surprising to see Neste here. These once again traditional old Finnish companies. Then we move to the 8th place where we have Harvia, and Harvia's business is saunas, traditional steam and infrared saunas. So sauna company from Finland. Are you international viewers? Are you surprised that we have this in the list? Because we have a big company making saunas in Finland that is publicly listed. So if you want to own Finnish sauna making company, here is your company, Harvia. My friends, when I talk with them about Harvia, they got angry at me because me of saying that I kind of feel looking at Harvia that this is kind of a meme stock to me. Yay, we're Finnish people, we want to own sauna making companies. That's cool and stuff, yeah. But what can I say about this? I haven't made a deep dive into it. I don't have a valuation on it, so I really cannot comment if it's a good investment or not. But what I can tell you is that looking at Harvia's 3 years price history, I can definitely say to you that Harvia is a better investment today than it was at the end of last year when it was trading at 55 and it's now trading at 23. So the stock has gone down minus 50 or even over minus 50 during the last year. So when I say, growth company they want to take saunas global in the world, take that Finnish culture worldwide, global, and that's great. But this has been among investment community such a talked about stock, such a hyped stock that I always get scared of those hyped stocks, and difficult to find value sometimes in those, in my opinion. So I haven't looked at Harvia, but I don't want to talk too much bad about it. I don't have a valuation on it. I just know that it must be today a better investment than it was in the end of last year. Now it's 60% cheaper. So I guess the people who bought it here at the heights are really excited to buy it now then. Okay, moving on. We have Wärtsilä at the 9th place, and Wärtsilä is, now I have to read it, technologies and lifecycle solutions for the marine and energy markets worldwide. So quite a diversified company. We go back to this. Actually surprising to see that its scores has been declining pretty steadily from 20 euros. We went to the 10 euros before Corona, then Corona happened, went really low, and since then has been up and a little bit down, little volatile, stable, I don't know. This is how it looks, but again, one of those big Finnish traditional companies, not surprised to see it on the list here. And finally, at the 10th place, we have QT Group, which is actually differs quite a lot from these other companies here on the list. QT Group develops, productizes, and licenses software development tools under commercial and open source licenses, Finland, Norway, Germany, United States, Japan, China, blah, 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 the whole world. So Finnish tech company, I know, pretty hyped company, and unfortunately has the tech company stock price movement as all tech, high growth tech companies in the world, I guess. Went from the absolute darling of the Corona times when they started, absolute massive way up, massively, even to 175 today. 100 euros have been melting from the valuation of the stock price. So if you think, again, if you thought that at the end of last year, here November, October, December 2021, you thought QT Group is a great deal, well, you must be really excited now, because it's in 1 year actually not that bad, only 23%, yeah, not that bad, even down, but it's definitely better buy at 75 euros than it was in 175 euros, right? So again, exciting to see a Finnish tech company also here, and hope it pays well to be a QT Group owner. Unfortunately, falling to the same narrative as many tech stocks recently. And moving on then to the United States. First up, most owned, or the company you can find in most Finnish portfolios. Who would have guessed it? What else than Tesla #1 sitting there? Yep, I'm not a big Tesla bull. I made a video on Tesla saying that if you invest in Tesla today, you will not make any money during the next 5 years. That was my valuation. That was my conclusion. If you're interested to hear why I'm such a bear on Tesla, go and watch my video. I provide the picture here, or you can just go and search it from my channel. But not a big fan of Tesla as an investment. Fan of the company and the cars, I am. Yes, they are great cars, great company, but the stock is really overpriced in my opinion. And if you want to hear why, then go and watch my video on Tesla. Cathy Wood and I had kind of a differing opinions on where Tesla stock will be in 2026. So interested more on that, go and watch that video. We move to the second place where we can find, and yeah, if we want to take a look at Tesla stock price, just quick comment. I was waiting for it to crash more than this, but Tesla is still holding up pretty much as a company with its stock price. So still the darling of all the tech investors, still hasn't crashed down in my opinion. Future will tell, will it happen next. Moving on the list. Second, we have Apple. I don't have, actually, I think great company. Apple, definitely a big moat company, great company. Nothing bad to say about Apple and their ecosystem. Not surprising to see it on the here in the list. It should be here on the list. Everybody knows Apple. You can see the stock price there. I'm not surprised to see it on the list. I haven't made valuation on Apple, so I don't know about that, but many people who I follow, I listen carefully, have made valuations on Apple, and overall what I'm sensing with Apple stock at the moment is that the company is great, they have great ecosystem, they have great products, they have brand mode, they have everything. The only question is what price are you going to pay about it? So great company. Only question for you is what am I going to pay for this company, and that is the case with Apple. And if you invest in Apple today, I think the consensus among the people I'm following is that you will not lose money by investing in Apple today, but you will not make much money because it's so expensive, the stock. Moving to the third place, NEO ADR, so China's Tesla. Let's have a look at how the stock price has gone. Yep, we are gonna have, starting from 2020, you know when the money printing started, due to Corona times, we see a huge climb up to $60, then crashing from 60, slowly down to 20 where we are sitting now. Yeah, haven't made valuation on NEO, but many things suggest to me that many things can be similar with NEO than Tesla. Unfortunately, don't have limited designs, manufacture and sells electric vehicles in People's Republic of China, Hong Kong and United States globally. Not much to say. Stock price looks like any other stock company. Haven't made valuation on it, but what I have heard about NEO, what I know about Tesla, very risky investment, nothing more to add there. We move on to fourth place, Microsoft. Again, company everybody knows. Stock price really stable upwards trend, not a big dip here. Microsoft to me is like Apple. You have great company with great moat. The only question is how much will you pay for it? That's the question. Nothing wrong with the company. Happy to see it here on the list. It's all about the stock price, the valuation. The company is great. Nothing more to add there. Fifth place, GameStop. My only question to Finnish people is why? Why on earth is this the fifth owned stock from USA? We all know the history. We all know what happened here during the recent times, January 21. We know the short squeeze that happened. After that, volatile, trend line going down. 1 year investment in GameStop, minus 20. Okay. As far as I know, the company is going a little bit out of business, a little bit old business model and stuff. I have no clue why Finnish people are holding this GameStop stock. I don't think the lightning is going to strike in the same place twice, as they say with GameStop and short squeeze. I don't think the shorters will allow what's happened to happen again, so I have no clue why this sits at fifth place, this GameStop stock. Moving to sixth place, you find Alibaba. People who have been following Arctic Money know that this is my second biggest position. So I'm bull Alibaba. I have made valuation. I have researched the company. I think Alibaba is cheap. Alibaba is a great bargain still, and is a great bargain. If you want to know more why I think it's a great bargain, go and watch my special video on Alibaba at Arctic Money channel, published in 2021. Not many things I say in that video have changed since. It's pretty actual video. So if you want to hear me telling you why it's my second most owned stock in my portfolio, go and watch the video. Then moving on to seventh place, we find another company from my portfolio, Meta. Meta Platforms, better known as Facebook. Okay, here, quickly show you. Of course, we know Alibaba went first up, but after October in 2020, everybody started hating Chinese stocks. And I do mean all Chinese stocks, because all their stock price movements look exactly the same, no matter what company. And it has been downhill from 300 to 100 where we're today. Of course, I'm on the losing side with my money on Alibaba, but I have bought more stocks as we went down, and I still believe in the company. That's shortly how I feel about it. As said, I think it's underpriced, and I think Alibaba is value and waiting for that value to unlock. But more about that in my special video. Go and watch it. Now we moved on to Meta. That has been a very volatile stock, as many of you know, so I'm not gonna talk more about that. I bought Meta first, was it now somewhere around 170 if I remember correctly. Today we are at the same price, 170. I'm not going to add more Meta to my portfolio unless the stock moves. I need to see it like, I'm getting interested again to add more to my current position at 140, and if we move under that, that's when I'm thinking of adding more Meta. Yeah, I feel that Meta is Facebook has been crushed due to the bad news coming up, estimates and stuff, but I think the old business is still there, creating value, creating money for the company. And Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook revolutionized the way we communicate already once in history. Why couldn't they do it again with Metaverse in the future? Metaverse is a crazy bet. Can be the best thing ever, can be nothing, in which case Meta is a bad investment. I don't know it. It's a bet. But I'm also betting on the old business of Facebook to create cash flows that are undervalued to current stock price, let's say so, and move forward to Coca-Cola. Well, there's a company with huge brand moat, everybody knows it. I think why this is in the list of Finnish investors must be because I'm guessing, this is my guess, because of Warren Buffett and history with Coca-Cola company. So if you bought at the Corona dip right here, has been a great investment for you from 40s to 60s. Again, same as with Microsoft, Apple, Coca-Cola is a great company, great brand moat, great business. It's all about the stock price, the money you are going to pay for those shares. Nothing bad to say about the company. Great company, great brand, and if you want to invest in Coca-Cola, only about the valuation. I don't have a valuation on Coca-Cola, but yeah, you understood it. Apple, Microsoft, Coca-Cola are great companies to see in this list, in my opinion. Then we have 9 and 10, AMD and NVIDIA. AMD, advanced micro devices, so semiconductor company worldwide, computing and graphics, enterprise, embedded, and semi-custom. So we go to semiconductor industry now. I have Intel in my portfolio. Didn't make this list, but I have researched Intel. It has I think it's undervalued. It's kind of a hedge to some of my Chinese stocks also, I feel. Not a direct hedge, but some hedge if there was anything happening with the chip production in Asia, where most of the chips, or great number, I don't know most of the chips, but a huge number of chips are manufactured in Asia. Something like COVID happens with the supply chains. It was devastating already for companies here in the West when the supply chains got disturbed, but I think EU, United States, Canada, all these countries must increase their domestic production, and that is my bet on Intel, that will happen and Intel's business will grow because chips are so essential to so many industries. But yeah, let's check advanced micro devices. We see kind of a tech stock movement here up to 150, then crashing during the last year. Let's check. Actually not crashing, up last year. Nice. Still quite a volatile run, so if you bought here 150, you are pretty badly down now, but volatile ride with advanced micro devices, and the last one was NVIDIA. And as you can see, AMD and NVIDIA stock price movements are pretty similar. Similar stories here as growth tech companies, so not surprised there. NVIDIA Corporation operates as a visual computing company worldwide, GPU, Tegra processors, semiconductor industry. Yep. Good. I think, well, yeah, difficult for me to comment on NVIDIA and AMD because I haven't researched them so much, and why I have invested in Intel, I already told you, but yeah, nothing to say about these two companies. Tailwinds for sure, growing for sure for their businesses in the future, their industries, but I don't have a valuation on them, so let's move forward here now to Canadian stocks. So Canada, let's go. And when I first saw the Canadian top 5 here, it was confusing and funny. Let's just start. The two first ones I had never heard of. I bet these are popular in some Finnish investing community, must be, but 3 and 4 I know, and 5th I know. But let's start what on earth is the most owned Canadian stock Voxtur Analytics Corporation. Together with its subsidiaries, provides software and data licenses and technology managed services to real estate industry in Canada and the United States. Alright, so provide software and data licenses and technology managed services to the real estate industry in Canada and the United States. Alright. I have no clue what this company, well, I know the industry now since we read it together here. I have no clue why Finnish people are so hyped in investing in this stock, to be honest. I hope you invested in it when it was a penny stock, had huge gains, up, volatile, and when the money printing was about to end, from 150 crashing to 0.5, so typical movement for a high growth tech stock. So what can I say about this? Clearly there was hype with this stock, then money printing stop and hype no more, hype coming again. I have no clue. This company is I have no idea why this is number one, but I hope somebody will in the comment section tell me why is this so popular among Finnish people. this company, I have no clue. But I really hope you didn't buy here at the heights, but heard it here when it was not hyped. Or if you still believe in the company, again as with other high growth tech names, it's a much better buy now than it was in April this year or anything between February 2021. So from February 2021 to April of this year, if you like the stock then, you must love it now at the cheaper prices, right? Yep. Seems to be the case. Alright, let's move on. Oroco Resource Corp, and again a name I hadn't heard about, but let's check first what the company is. An exploration stage company engages in the acquisition, exploration and development of mineral properties in Mexico. It explores for copper and gold deposits, okay? Copper price going down recently. Copper is something I have owned in the history and I'm monitoring it closely now. Copper prices are going down. Copper is getting more interesting. Gold, I haven't explored that myself so much, but copper I'm really familiar with, so must be, as we know, copper is used in EVs, electric vehicles, for example, for its electricity purposes. It's a metal we will definitely globally need in the future, so you have the tailwind there. This company does exploration of it, so I get the idea. I get the idea why you would be interested to invest in this company. Why was this so hyped among Finnish people? No idea again. Hopefully someone will tell me, but similar story to the other, what was Voxtur Analytics. You have huge climb up, and then you have crash down. So highly risky stock, I assume. And so it seems. If you liked it at 3, you must like it now at 0.67. Yep, seems like a really risky stock, but hey, as said, I know copper is the metal of the future, so I get it why somebody would own this, but I guess you need to have really good nerves to hold this stock, let's say so, and move on. Okay, 3 and 4, Global Atomic Corporation and Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. I happen to know why these are in the top list here. This is because of Mr. Mikko Leivo visiting Nordnet's podcast show, Rahapodi, where Mikko Leivo is a uranium bull and has lots of knowledge in uranium, and these were the 2 companies he talked about. And actually, I agree with these hype stocks. I agree with, and Sprott Physical Uranium Trust is my 3rd biggest position in my portfolio at the moment. So I have skin in the game with Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. I'm hoping uranium prices to go up and predicting them to go up from current levels. Global Atomic Corporation, I took a look at its junior miner of uranium, but it was kind of difficult for me to understand to make a valuation out of it, to understand it too difficult for me, so I skipped it because of that. Let's take a look at the price movement. Yep, huge gains if you bought here, 0.62. Huge gains to the current level. So as uranium prices picked up somewhere here, I guess junior miners go up, leverage go up heavily. So if I think Mr. Leivo got this one right, I think so. He made good money with this one. If he started already selling it, he made a good investment on this. What is the valuation now? As said, I didn't get a feeling it was too difficult company for me to understand in uranium space. So I kind of skipped it and went myself to well, this is not the right ticker, but went myself to Sprott Physical Uranium Trust Holding. Physical uranium, as the name says. If you're interested more about uranium, I have one of my most popular episodes is on uranium, so go right on YouTube, Arctic Money Uranium, or search the video from my video list and go watch it if you're interested in uranium. This hype, I understand, nuclear energy is the green, safe energy that can save us from the hell we are at the moment in energy in EU and globally, and I hope Finland would build more nuclear power plants, as I hope the same for many other countries. The energy is cheap, it is safe, it is green, and I think the dangers of nuclear power, nuclear energy have been hugely overblown. Go and watch my uranium video if you're more interested in, but I am a believer in uranium myself too. Let's go to the last one in Canada, which is Aurora Cannabis. So as the name tells you, you know what their business is in Canada. I remember researching when I started investing cannabis stocks too, because I believe that will be legalized in great parts of the world. It has been legalized since 2018 in many countries, North America, I think in Asia, in the Netherlands, in Europe, weed is legal. I am sure that in Finland weed will be legal also in the future once my generation gets to hold the power, so to speak. Let's not turn this talk show into talking about intoxicating substances like alcohol and cannabis. I definitely believe that cannabis will be legalized greatly more than it is now, and I think could that be the reason why people invested it back in 2018? Luckily, I got people who were more wiser than me, telling me that probably you shouldn't invest in highly speculative industry like cannabis industry. So I was happy to have those people around me. So I ditched the idea. Yeah, hugely volatile game here where you could make lots of money and you could lose lots of money. But let's say if you weren't out of cannabis stocks before 2019, you have lost a huge amount of money, especially and at least with this stock. Terrible to see, and I have a feeling that Finnish people didn't, well, they were holding, all this data is from last month, so quite current data. It was data before June, so Nordnet published this data on June, so it is recent data, and as you can see, clearly many Finnish people got burnt here, didn't sell when you needed to sell a cannabis stock somewhere during this time. They hold it in their portfolios, and this will only have this highly speculative industry had only sad results in your portfolio and was a sad story for everyone involved. Study this one if you want to know what can happen with these high growth tech names, hyped industries. This is the risk you're facing, and with price return during last 5 years of minus 93%, that means permanent loss of capital and you have lost your money. Be careful with this kind of stuff. And now we move to Sweden. And first one we have Volvo Car AB, so traditional car company from Sweden, sells globally their cars. What has this? Actually, I think, yeah, exactly. This was. Did they went? I'm not quite sure, but did they went again public company just recently at the end of last year? So it has been quite a volatile, I would say. But in the end, now 74 listed at 65, so no big differences there. Well, a little bit difference, but I think they went public again, so not much to say about the stock. Again, traditional Swedish car company, many Volvos in the Finnish streets also driving, so not surprising to see here. Finnish people wanted to own the most known car company, cars from Sweden, so I guess natural. What else do we have in Sweden? Well, second place, Nordnet. Guess whose website we are looking at now. So I guess Nordnet, when they listed, I think they relisted too. Was this their second time too, if I'm not completely mistaken? So yeah, let's just say that Nordnet seems to have done good marketing at their own website to Finnish customers of their services to become owners of the company. Let's see, they listed in November 2020. All right, 105, and we are a little bit up. Very volatile times, but a little bit up with Nordnet. So, okay, nice ticker there, by the way. Save, that's funny. Dude, I have my portfolio here on Nordnet actually, and it's the article we are checking now. That is from Nordnet website. They have good articles they post, nice service. Nothing as a consumer, a customer of Nordnet, I have nothing bad to say about them. Great service in my opinion. Haven't made valuation, and as this is kind of, well, not a bank but investing service, kind of outside my core competence, so I'm not going to take a look at it. But yeah, great marketing by Nordnet to become the second most owned stock from Sweden in Finland. Nice. Third place, Evolution. This is a gaming corporation, develops, produces, markets and licenses live casino solutions to gaming operators primarily in Europe and United States. Online gaming, so we all know that industry. Alright, a pretty wild ride for a long time. Let's see the last 5 years. Invested 5 years ago to this one and you are up quite a bit. 4x or something like that. Let's see where actually Corona started here. Here we are, March 20. You see a little bit Corona dip, but I guess when people were staying at home and real casinos were closed, sporting events were gone, I guess people need to gamble somewhere. So Evolution Gaming might have been a great buy actually due to these tailwinds when Corona started. If somebody would have been so wise to see this development, you would have made absolutely great returns from 300 to, holy cow, to 1,500. You have made absolute great results if you had that good of an insight to this industry being one of the winners of Corona times. Of course, when the Corona times started ending, you could already guess what the stock price will do. Crashed 500 there from 1,500 to under 1,000. So again, that's the risk if you hop to the train too late. But this remains to be seen. Where did these people from Finland who bought this stock actually bought it? Are they still up, or did they hop to the train too late? I would say controversial industry to say the least, casino online gaming, but clear winner of Corona times, so I get it. Actually, I would get it if you bought it at the beginning of Corona, when Corona started, but maybe not get why you own it anymore. I don't know, might be good. I don't have a valuation on it, so. But yeah, if you bought it when Corona started, a clear winner there. I can see why you would have done that in the past, but what is the future? No, I don't know. Then fourth, Smart Eye. I know this has been a talked about stock in the Finnish investing community. Unfortunately, it's price ride where we have their Corona dip, then it got real hyped. It went from 58 to 260 levels and then crashed down in a huge manner like any other high growth tech stock. So this is the high growth tech space you're investing in. Make quick money, fast money, great money, but then when you start going down, you go down really fast. So 1 year returns minus 70. Can you handle that one? If you thought Smart Eye was cheap and a great investment in July, 1 year ago in the summer, when the price was over 200, you must love it today at 60. Yep, this is the life of a high growth tech investor. I don't have much of this in my radar or in my portfolio. I have their Alphabet, I have their Mate, I have their Alibaba. Those are the companies I have there. This kind. Sorry, I didn't even tell you what they do. Excuse me. Smart Eye develops artificial intelligence-powered eye tracking technology that understands, assists, and predicts human intentions and actions in Sweden and internationally. So, real high-flying stuff. I know that some applications must be. Let's check. The company's research into eye tracking systems. Its research instruments are used in aviation, aerospace, defense, and automotive industry. I knew, so in cars, their technology would be available. But yeah, huge promises, huge growth promises. Typical tech stock. I haven't looked so closely into their business to say if it's a good or a bad investment. Everything I can say is that it's got the stock price of a high growth tech name. Volatile ride. I would say difficult ride for many people to handle, but yeah, you know the story by now, so let's move forward. And finally, Investor AB. This is a venture capital firm specializing in mature middle market buyouts and growth capital investments. So venture capital firm from Sweden, I guess really traditional one. For financial investment, it requires minority ownership in financial holdings for shorter. Investor AB was founded in 1916. Yes, global company founded over 100 years ago, and I can see the appeal to invest in such an old established business. So to be honest, I haven't looked at this company at all, but as you can see from the all-time stock chart dating back to 2005, clearly has been a great compounder company, great compounder, you can already tell from this stock chart. So most likely this has been a great investment for many Finnish people, so I'm really happy for the Swedish people, happy for the Finnish people, and or international people investing in this stock price movement. Seems to be that they are pretty good at allocating capital, and looks like a good compounder, even though it has dipped a little bit recently, but still up 3 years. So this seems, I have to admit, this seems interesting. Investor AB seems interesting to me also. Maybe I should take a look at this. This seems like a true compounder knowing what they're doing. So maybe this one deserves another look from me. So there we had Sweden, and we move on to Norway. And Norway, I don't feel good seeing Norwegian Air Shuttle as number one. Let's have a look. Okay, nice. Last 10 year, okay, listed 2005, all right. 10-year investment. Okay, is Norwegian Air Shuttle already in bankruptcy, or what is going on? This is where obviously Corona started. We came from almost 4,000, crashed back to under 1,000, crashed eventually to 9 Norwegian kroner. I'm getting confused. I don't know what to say. Okay, we have volatile price movement in the last year. But Norwegian Air Shuttle seems like, I don't know, is it going bankrupt? Because this seems like it. To me, I guess some players, some gamblers can make money with this volatility. Definitely not a game I play. Definitely not a game many Finnish people should play. I have no clue with these airlines. What are Finnish people seeking as an investment in these airlines? Maybe there are many Finnish investors who are great kings of aviation industry and specialize in these airline companies. But to me, this looks like a total loser's game. I'm betting, it became number one investment from Norway in Finland. I guess this happened after this Corona dip somewhere here. But yeah, 1 year you haven't made money, just a volatile play. I have no idea what will be Norwegian's future as a company. Can they survive, or what kind of game is this people are playing? But definitely Finnish people seem to be happy playing this game, so alright. To me this is not investing, this is playing some games, to be honest. Not sure how many experts we really have in Finland who can really make profits out of this game, but yeah, nothing more to add here. Let's move on. Second, we have Nel. Didn't know. I'm sorry, did I miss it? No, it's here. On the second place, yes, second place from Norway, we have Nel. And Nel is a hydrogen company, delivers various solutions to produce, store, and distribute hydrogen from renewable energy worldwide. So renewable energy, hydrogen, new form of energy that hasn't yet been taken to use in large scale in the world. I am not a hydrogen expert, but this is something I feel about it. It's still up and coming new energy form. So, all right. I was about to say risky investment, but looking at this stock chart starting from 2005, okay, move up and crash, huge deal. I hope you weren't a long-term investor in Nel. Must be that Finnish people got hyped about this recently, and so it seems the story looks pretty different when you move to 5 years. Yeah, you invested in 3 Norwegian kroners here in 2018. You are now at 16, so you made a great profit if you hop to the train here, hydrogen train here, hydrogen powered train here. But if you hop to the train when money was being printed all around the world and the stock went to 20s, 25s, even 30s, you know what will happen during 1 year. It's still in the same level, so not a big crash in 1 year, but definitely a crash if you invested it during beginning of 2021. It has crashed from 30 to 15, so minus 50% drop there. This is the thing with new energy forms. I'm not saying hydrogen, I'm not a specialist in hydrogen myself. What can the world do with it? How can this company make money with it? But some people do believe. But still, looking at the stock price movement seems speculative stock to me, and the future of hydrogen really don't know. If there are hydrogen specialists, please tell me why this is the second most popular investment in Norway for Finnish people, and does this company has a great future ahead of it? Moving on to the next one on the Norwegian list, we have Zaptec. Haven't heard about that. Haven't heard about Zaptec before, but once I read about what they're doing, and designs, develops, and produces smart EV charging systems in Norway. So electronic vehicles, I read somewhere that Norway has a great amount of EVs already, more than other countries. So naturally you need charging systems for those EVs that Norwegian people have. So there's an obvious tailwind for the company. I can see why people want to invest in this one. Well, those EV charging systems, if this is the only company making them in Norway or something, then definitely has a huge tailwind that I can see why people are investing in this one. I think went public now 2020 October 11 and has gone up to 40, so has been super investments here. If you sold a little bit down during 1 year, but actually not down at all, has been stable company since their IPO there, I guess. So tailwinds for this company, definitely charging systems will definitely be needed in Norway and elsewhere in the world later. So I can definitely see the appeal of people investing in this one. Moving on, AutoStore. This one was a robotic and software technology company, provides warehouse automation solutions in Norway and internationally. So automating warehouses, I'm guessing for companies like Amazon or food companies, retail food, grocery stores, etc. My former employer was Lidl, so I know a little bit about grocery stores. Not difficult to think that these automated warehouses will be the future in that industry. Already Amazon clearly has these to a large extent automated warehouses, so warehousing moving to robots away from expensive human labor, definitely a tailwind. Easy for me to understand why somebody would invest in this one. Easy to understand, huge tailwinds. Same story as with Zaptec there recently. So It seems like it IPO'd recently in 2021, last year only, so it hasn't been trading for a long time, but IPO'd in pretty hype time. We all know how the wind of changes started blowing after we came to the 2022, and as you can see here, went from 41 to crashing to 70 in 20s, so minus 50%. So if you love the company here, you must love it now, I would say. 50% cheaper. But definitely has Zaptec tailwind, so easy for me to see why people would invest in this one or want to own it. The tailwinds you have there. The world is moving away from human labor to robotics every year more, so yeah, basic stuff. Kahoot! Is the fifth one from Norway. And this company I know because I have played in parties Kahoot games, the quiz game where you make your own quizzes and people can answer those questions by their smartphones, and then you have the winner and nice graphics and great quiz game, so much fun. At least the game is really funny, really great game they have made, Kahoot, but how to make money with it, I have never paid using it, I have never seen a commercial using it, so I was, when I saw Kahoot here fifth, I was like, what is going on? But then I learned that Kahoot is a game-based learning platform working globally. Companies' platforms help to create, share, and play learning games. So this is a learning industry company doing this, interactive, fun entertainment like learning games. Many different spin-offs for their products. How you can use it. Their products in learning. Actually, learning industry is something I know a little bit myself because I made my master's thesis on Finnish media and learning company Sanoma, a publicly listed company also. Didn't get to the top 10 of Finland, but big company here in Finland, was a huge company in Europe in the past before the time of smartphones and Facebook and social media. Before that, Sanoma Corporation was a huge company in Europe. So they had difficult times when smartphones came, social media got popular, big hit for their business, but they are moving more also Sanoma to learning industry. So I feel like learning is an industry that is never going away. It always needs to keep innovative. Learning is such a focal point of human life, I would say almost. So I get why people would get excited about company like Kahoot. Haven't researched it at all, so I know the fun quiz game, but what else Kahoot has, I really don't know. But learning as an industry is interesting, always evolving. I would say difficult industry due to the fact that it's always evolving, always staying innovative, the learning industry. So if you are a real expert in learning industry and you work, for example, learning industry, you might know who are the winners and the best companies out there. I suggest you take your deep dives into those companies. Sure, there is money to make in learning industry. It's never old-fashioned, never going away. So I get why Kahoot is here, let's say so. And then we have done Norway and we have two ones left, so let's move to Denmark. So Denmark, first up we have Vestas Wind Systems, and as the name would tell you, it makes wind turbines, so wind energy worldwide. The stock itself, by the way, did I even show you the Kahoot there, the stock? Let's get that one real quick. I'm not sure if I missed it for you guys to show. I think you gotta look at it, but let me. Kahoot so listed somewhere. Okay, let's see. Last 3 years. Corona times, Kahoot, yeah, high growth tech stock seems Kahoot also be. So let's first go up hugely, and then from 100 levels we crashed down to 20 levels. So terrible performance, minus 50% last year. So high growth tech company, how Kahoot stock price went. So okay, we already talked about Kahoot. Then we go to Vestas Wind Systems back. So wind energy from Denmark, and Corona times we see there starting Corona dip, but then huge climb up from 100 to 300, 3x there. And then when the energy industry globally, due to Russia's unlawful war in Ukraine, got disturbed and was doing flips all over the place, and energy industry went upside down. We have seen Vestas wind system, wind energy going a little bit out of favor, coming from 300 to under 200 levels. So that's the story with wind energy, I guess. Well, green energy, wind energy, clearly needed in the world. All green energy we can muster. Nuclear energy, wind energy, solar, hydro, everything has for sure a role in tomorrow's energy mix, green energy mix. So yeah, wind systems, green energy, hyped, tailwinds. Yeah, you understand why people want to own this. That was number 1 from Denmark. Novo Nordisk, I know the company. It is here, and it's traditional pharmaceutical company from Denmark. One of those, in the Finnish top 10 list, you saw lots of those old names, established big companies. Novo Nordisk is one like that from Denmark, pharmaceuticals. Let's actually look, a great compounder, like the Investor AB we saw. If you see from 2005 where the graph starts, we see a little bit dip here in 2016, but mostly great compounder to some extent. Okay, little bit too much happening here during money printing times, but I don't know if this is because of money printing or has Novo Nordisk done something real good recently. As you can see, from 5 years, from 266 to current over 800. So Novo Nordisk has been a great investment. For the ones who invested in it, real didn't dip much even in the corona times. So established company, clearly has the, when just looking at the stock price, seems like it could be a compounder. Established, I'm not sure, did it say here? Yeah, founded 1923, established real old company from Denmark, so I get it why it's on the list. Moving on, Ørsted. Ørsted was, I need to read it now here, develops, constructs, owns and operates offshore and onshore wind farms, solar farms, energy storage facilities and bioenergy plants. So green energy, like Vestas, they have wind, but they have also apparently solar, energy storage and bioenergy. So green energy company, I would assume pretty similar to Vestas, the stock price, and it is. We have gone to the heights of 1,300 and then crashed a little bit to current 800s with the, I guess, with the broader picture of what is happening in the energy market at the moment. As said, tailwinds, green energy, we need to move away from fossil fuels in the future, and this company has that tailwind going for itself, so it's all about the price you're paying for it. Kind of with Vestas wind systems, similar story there, I would say. So I get it. Finnish people want to be green, want to invest in these green companies. It's definitely, you have tailwinds, definitely, as they have also, they have a broader mix than Vestas has only wind. These have solar, energy storage facilities and bioenergy, so broader mix of products. So I kind of like that one. A little bit less risky, I would say, even, but definitely has a future. This company seems to me like it's only about the valuation and price. What are you going to pay for it, and how much those energy sources, wind, solar, and their businesses, what is the addressable market in the future. Oh, yeah, I get it. Moving on. Then we have Danske Bank, traditional Nordic bank operating in the banking industry, operating in Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Norway, UK, Ireland, Baltics, Germany, Poland. So in Europe, what has the stock been doing? Let's check it out. 2005 is where we start. Seems like a cyclical stock, as many bank stocks are. Many cycles, you can see we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up. We go up and we go down. Who knows, maybe we go up next. I already admitted to you guys, I don't do banking or insurance. I'm not an expert in this. So Danske Bank, big bank also here in Finland. So that's the story behind why Finnish people have seen a need to own it. Nothing special that, but as said, I don't do banks. So let's move forward here. Moving on from Danske Bank to the last one, SAS, which is an airline company. Surprise, surprise. Finnish people and their love for struggling airline companies. And yeah, this is our 10-year graph. Looks real nice. I hope you didn't buy before, I don't know when, but if you did, you are probably losing your money. Here we can see, what are we living here? The end of the second wave of Corona, I guess October 2020, when the company crashed to its final levels. 1 year, we have 5-year returns of, minus 96, you have lost all your money. 3 years, minus 94, you have lost all your money. You invested in SAS 1 year ago and tried to play some Corona games with airlines. You have lost 70% out of your money. This is just not investing to me. This is crazy betting, crazy gambling. Year to date. You have only lost half of your money. 6 months, a little bit more. You invested 3 months ago, you are 42% down. I'm sad to see these kind of struggling airlines going bankrupt and Finnish people owning and playing games with these airline companies. Airline industry is fiercely competitive industry. Lots of operators there, many governments meddling in, messing with the industry fundamentals. So you have there, I know we're going to Germany next and you will have a Lufthansa there. German government bailed out Lufthansa, saved Lufthansa. I was following myself Ryanair for a while, and I know that if I remember correctly, Ryanair didn't really like those bailouts. Ryanair had good financials, so they wanted to take market share away from Lufthansa and other national airlines like Finnair, like Lufthansa. But I guess the governments didn't let these airlines go down because they are kind of essential products, essential companies for governments. So there you have it. You have industry where competing is made fiercely competitive. Industry leads usually to low margins, bad investments, and then you have governments meddling in. So what can you say about that? Yep, you have that kind of industry. So the world is filled with great industries where the rules of play are more fair than in airlines industry. So why do you need to go investing in these? And as you have seen, and you will see Lufthansa in Germany, we have lots of these airlines, and looking at this makes me really, really sad in a way. And I will talk a little bit more about that in the conclusion, but we move now forward to, exactly, Germany. That was the last from Denmark. So we have in Germany, we have Tesla's secondary listing that we discussed already. We have a secondary listing for Alibaba that is discussed already. I have videos of both Tesla and Alibaba. Go and check them in the Arctic Money channel. The channel you're visiting now if you want to learn more about how I feel about Tesla and Alibaba. We moved directly to the third place where you have that Lufthansa I just started telling you about. Highly cyclical, as you can see, many ups and downs. Let's look at the last 10 years. Huge run up, 17-18, since 2018. Has been going down already before Corona. Then happened Corona, crashed even more there. Went temporarily up and is still going downwards. So looks like it was really hard for you to make money if you owned Lufthansa. We have 10-year returns of minus 41, 5-year minus 67, 3 years minus 59, 1 year minus 38. This is the same story with all. Did you find a winner out of these airlines? Please, if there are, and there are many Finnish people invested in airlines, if you think one airline is a winner company, please write it to the comment section below, because I have no clue and I really want to know how did you come up with that conclusion and why is this airline the winner company in the future? If you were not only playing Corona games and try to make quick, good, fast money, which is not something we do here in Arctic Money, and it's not advised by me ever, ever, ever. So if there are airline experts and looking at the data right here, when so many Finnish people own airlines, there seems to be lots of airline experts in Finland. I want to challenge those airline experts to comment down below this video. Why is these companies a good investment for the next 5 years? Let's have a discussion. Please tell me, because I do not know for the reasons I already told you. Moving on, and we move to fourth place, Volkswagen. Well, this is kind of an interesting. Let's see. This is how we look from 2005. All right, last 10 years, we see a couple of big cycles happening there. 5-year investment hasn't really gone anywhere. We see the Corona dip right here. as we always do. Then we climbed up hugely. Some good news popped up here from Volkswagen, and unfortunately, Volkswagen is also looking like a high growth tech name here, with valuation stock price being 240, dropping down to 140. So big decline during last, let's say, 3 years. You're only down a little bit. 1 year you're down 1/3 of your investment. So going steadily down recently. I know Volkswagen might be the one challenging Tesla, so in a way that would be interesting. But again, I was not bullish on airline industry, and car industry has been in the history very competitive also, will be also in the future. My greetings to all Tesla stock owners. You will have competition more in the future than you think currently. That is my prediction, and why I'm not bullish on Tesla. Go and watch my video. I talk more about it, the Tesla video. But Volkswagen here is one company I know is not giving up to Tesla, just putting their hands up and saying, oh my god, Tesla is taking all the market share. We let Tesla take everything, and Tesla is the only car company left in the world. No. Volkswagen and the others will challenge Tesla. So this makes an interesting investment case. Volkswagen itself. But yes, as said again, car industry has been difficult, so it wouldn't be the first industry, at least for me, to go in. But yeah, I get it why Volkswagen, lots of Volkswagen company-owned vehicles clearly in Finland, so I get why Finnish people would own this company. So nothing more to add on Volkswagen here, so let's move on to the last one, which is TUI, and this is a tourism company. Provides tourism services worldwide, operates hotels and resorts under different brands, and did they even have airlines? The company operates a fleet of 1,600 travel agencies and online for 5 airlines with approximately 150 aircraft. So there you go again, Finnish people with the airlines, loving aviation industry. TUI also has aircrafts, cruise liners, I can see too, hotels. Diversified tourism company. We all know what happened, was doing pretty well, and then happened a thing called Corona, which obviously crashed their business completely. We moved from 10 euros to 3 euros in the Corona dip, and as you can see, the company trading now at 1.5, so they clearly are in some sort of trouble still. You can take this as one more airline. Let's have a recap here on airlines now. We have TUI, Lufthansa, SAS, Norwegian Air Shuttle, number 1 in Norway, and you had Finnair, number 4 in Finland. So, all right. So I just need to say that the amount of airlines, clearly airlines, difficult industry to start with, as I said already, and even more difficult when you have a huge shock like COVID happening. So it makes immediately making the valuation of the companies wildly difficult. Of course, turbulent times present great investment possibilities. I do understand and I get that, and that is why these are so popular among Finnish people. People want to, you want to see an airline crash to the bottom numbers, and then you buy it really cheap because the stock price chart looks so damn cheap. Let's pull up Finnair, for example, here now instead of TUI. You see, this is my theory. You see this kind of thing happening. Well, Finnair was trading at 12 euros back in 2017. Even before Corona, it was trading at 6 euros, so it must come back to 6 euros, right? Well, no. The kind of thing that happens with Corona, it makes a huge shock to your economy. And then Finnair, even worse news with the Russia's unlawful attack in Ukraine. And Finnair, as said, was had a great base here in Helsinki where you could fly to Asia easily, and that was kind of Finnair's competitive advantage. So you have all the damage made by Corona to all airlines, and then you have, especially compared to even these other airlines, but this affects also the other ones we have been talking about, but especially Finnair, the closing of Russian airspace for Finnish aircraft, so they need to find alternative longer routes, longer ways to Asia. They need to go around Russia. That will cost you more fuel. That will be more expensive. Everybody knows that. So you have two bad things happening here, and then the company is in huge trouble. I don't know what Finland government needs to do with Finnair or something. Yeah, here you can see, now we go to 1 year, we are not looking, this is the corona levels of stock price, and then happened Russia's unlawful attacking Ukraine, and we went from 0.6 to even 0.4, a little bit recovery and then down, so yeah, 1/3 down, 33% down, so even like on top of corona you have this thing to make life so difficult for these airlines. So I have absolutely no other conclusion that this many people cannot really be able to evaluate these airlines, which I already told you is a bad industry in my opinion, carefully, to make these value investments. These are not value investments to me, these airlines. These are games, these are bets, and people just want to make money quickly, and you can see how well that ends up in most cases. It ends up in really bad situations, people losing their money. So if you wanted to bet on airlines, I hope you didn't put too much money at any point during these recent times to these companies. So what else can I say about this? Not much to add there. We have gone now through the list. To me, the most amazing one thing, like the Canadian stocks were pretty wild. What they were the top 5. Sweden and Finland not so wild. USA was kind of a mixed bag, and then you have these airlines, which are to me these airlines seem like, when this many people still hold them in their portfolios, when I start making my macroeconomic bets, which is just, this is now just for entertainment, just for fun, but it is really hard for me to think that we have seen the stock market bottom out yet when people are owning these kinds of companies we have just been talking about here. So until these companies disappear from those portfolios, I don't think we have seen the broader stock market portfolio, the bottom yet. The broader stock market bottom we have not seen. That's the feeling I'm getting. We are going to go lower. But as said, that's the broad stock market, which considers all the stocks in the world. Already you might have value, you always have value in some places. There is always companies that are trading under their intrinsic value, and those are great companies you should be buying. Go look for those companies, don't go looking for these airlines. That would be my advice. And now I sound real stupid if all our airline stocks are gonna boom next 2 years, but hey, we all know why people have bought into these, and do you have the nerves to hold the airline stocks till the end? And are you absolutely sure that these companies won't go bankrupt and you will not lose all your money? Those are the questions I don't know. I just hope people who have invested in these airline companies do have answers for these. So before we go, and this has been the longest episode I have ever made, this turned out to be a podcast, but so let it be. I hope the ones still listening are having fun. Before we go and conclude this video, end this video, I have put all the stocks we have just discussed in this table where you can see some metrics out of them by ticker.com. I have just sorted them out by next 12 months price to earnings ratio, traditional metric of valuation. So, well, doesn't individually price to earnings doesn't tell you anything about the company, but I'm not going to give a history or educational lesson here on price to earnings ratio, but just one metric you can look at the company, how it has been evaluated, what is its valuation. But let's move. You have Lufthansa. Well, I don't know what that even means for these airline companies. We already discussed airline companies, so let's skip it. Tesla trading at 54, so high multiples. Same as QT. You have Kahoot, NVIDIA, Novo Nordisk. Actually, looking at this metric, pretty expensive, even though great compounder, as we just saw. These are, one might say that those of you who doesn't know price to earnings ratio, I think the historical price to earnings ratio is somewhere 15-16 levels. Myself, I think like if you go to price to earnings of above 30, as said, the metric alone doesn't tell you anything, but somebody would describe these as pretty high 33s. But when you go under 20, you are more in natural, reasonable range of price to earnings ratios, let's say so, but never mind. Moving on. Then you have the AutoStore making the still pretty high over 30 price to earnings ratio, making the warehouses robotic. Then we go Microsoft. We have Zaptec trading this. Apple, as said about Apple, what I have been listening to other people more wise than me who have valuations on Apple. Probably you will not lose money with Apple, but you will not make a great deal of money. It's so highly priced at the moment, but again, not losing. So that seems to be the consensus there. Then Coca-Cola, we're still over 20s. KONE, Finnish, elevators, Ørsted, green energy, we are still above 20 PE ratio with AMD too. Then we move under 20 PE. We have Neste, we have Evolution Gaming, we have Nordnet. Difficult, by the way, these banks and insurance companies and Nordnet, the price to earnings ratio, it's I don't know. You always, when using price to earnings ratio, do not do like I'm doing at the moment, comparing different companies in different industries. But what you can do is compare companies in the same industry. Those price to earnings ratio can already tell you something. Actually, if you compare the companies in the same industry with price to earnings ratios, don't go comparing them like I'm doing right now across different industries. But let's do this quick recap still. We had Sampo, the insurance, there beneath Nordnet, then Meta. 16 is pretty low price to earnings ratio for Meta in my opinion. That's why I bought it first time, just a small position at these levels. Alibaba, for a company like Alibaba, I would say 14 is really low. Wärtsilä, well, yeah, you go to industrials. Volvo Car, Harvia, actually surprisingly low multiple here now. Maybe Harvia, even though I wasn't that bullish on sauna and I even said such a bad word as meme stock with Harvia, price to earnings ratio doesn't look too bad, to be honest. But again, I would need to dig deeper into Finnish saunas whether this is a good investment or not. But one thing I can tell you is that I just got a new sauna and I have a Harvia there. So yeah, number one player in Finland, I guess already. Even my sauna has Harvia too. So yeah, I'm going to be testing the company's products again really soon. Let's see how my sauna experience will be when I move back to my own home after the renovation. Yeah, that will be fun. Then you have Nokia, all right, Nordea, Fortum, Investor AB. We move to pretty, one would describe low valuations of price to earnings. Yeah, TUI, you know the deal with that. Banks, Volkswagen, okay. Then you have these special stocks. Not really familiar with Voxtur, Oroco Resource, Global Atomic Uranium. Well, I don't think can this even. This is uranium, so it doesn't have earnings. It's uranium, okay. But then what I really wanted to show you then, okay, let's forget about the airlines now. Really, loss-making business. I think I just saw in the news that Finnair will make its third loss-making year in a row. So when the price-to-earnings ratio turns negative, you know the company is loss-making. So maybe what I wanted to conclude with my rant on airlines there, one thing I wanted to conclude is the sheer amount of how many of these businesses Finnish people own are actually loss-making, not profit-making. Airlines, cannabis, Smart Eye, Norwegian, well, yeah, airlines, GameStop, you know that. Oh, we had even more here. We have the hydrogen, GameStop, Neo, so China's Tesla, and we have Vestas Wind Systems. So maybe the last thing I wanted to say here was that out of these stocks we went through, this many of them are loss-making. So that only strengthens my theory that probably we haven't seen the stock market bottom out yet, because so many people seem to still be playing games, all drunk from the great highs you received during Corona times, during money printing. And now the winds of change are blowing, everything has changed now with interest rates going higher and inflation out of control. So we see what happens next. But as you can see from the list, there are companies one would expect to find here. Just throwing in, even though Fortum is in trouble, you would expect Sampo, Fortum, Nordea. Hope the airlines would not be here. These Finnish companies you would expect. Well, Tesla is Tesla, we already discussed that, but then you have Apple, Microsoft, Alibaba, Meta, Coca-Cola. Those companies I definitely would have maybe even guessed to be here myself. One thing I would like to ask is, where is Alphabet? That's another position in my portfolio, but is not here in the USA list, which I'm Alphabet Google, so which I'm pretty surprised. The Canada was wild. Sweden, well, you had Volvo, you had Nordnet with their great marketing, I guess, as you can see. Evolution, so online casino. You have pretty wild back here in Sweden too. You had a wild back of Norwegian stocks too. And then you have some old established Danske Bank, Novo Nordisk, then some green energy, and then again one airline in Denmark. And in Germany, well, we basically have only 3 German companies here, but very heavily on the tourism and airlines sector again. So this was my podcast on what Finnish people seem to be probably having in their portfolios and how I feel about it. I guess I have talked long enough. This is the longest episode I have ever made, but I think I'm still gonna publish this. This was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you too, who had the energy to listen it, and maybe this gave you some ideas for the future. And as said, this data I want to just show you. This article was published 6th of July. So yeah, I think I said June earlier in this video. That was wrong. The article is published 6th of July, so this month. So this is the recent situation with the Finnish stocks. What do they have in their special stock savings accounts? As said, the data might be skewed towards more heavily overweighted on foreign companies that don't give out dividends, because that would be, if you have foreign companies that pay dividends, it would better to have those stocks in normal I use the term arvo-osuustili in Finnish, but normal stock savings account. You would probably be more wiser having those there. So the data we have seen might be overweight in companies that don't pay dividend. Keep that in mind. You ask me to what extent overweight to these non-dividend payers. My answer to you is I can't know it. I don't know it. I don't have an answer for that, but still I feel like this list is pretty accurate in what Finnish people own mostly. I would even, as said, I can't know it, but I just have the feeling that the real list is a little bit different, but not completely different. Let's say so. If you would take all the wealth Finnish people have in stocks in these markets, that is my feeling. I already told you that this what we have just seen here seems to me that people are still wanting to play games with the stocks. There were many companies I don't feel like are value investing. They are games. They are betting. They are the phenomenon of 2020 century, I would almost say. Stock market becoming a place to gamble. I don't know if it has throughout the history been so always, I think, but with the information technology we all have in use now and smartphones and trading apps in them, this is playing to the trend, I would say. This is how I see things. This episode is going to be now almost 90 minutes, so I'm going to end this one here. I think I have said now everything I wanted to say. Thank you for this monologue you allowed me to give, and it would be really nice to hear what were your thoughts on what we have just seen. I have pretty strong feelings what I have seen, what I think I have seen, but what do you think? Please, if you will, please comment and let's have a discussion there. What do you feel? What can we learn from this? Now, this was a hugely long episode, and for those people who watched the whole episode, I give big thank yous from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for this podcast. I had fun doing this. I like doing this, and see you in the next video, hopefully. I want to see you in my next videos also. Thank you for watching this one, and bye bye and good night.